The realm of land and property ownership in India is a little complex. Ownership of a piece of land in India means that the owner has a certain set of rights over the land. The owner is said to be in possession of the land, which can come in two forms. De jure possession is possession in the eyes of law, where the possessor is legally recognized as the owner of the land. De facto means possession in fact or reality. It means that the person is in possession of the land but is not the legal owner of it. All de jure possession is by default also de facto possession. The illegal squatter settlements found in cities are generally households having de facto possession over the land. When the government takes measures to regularize this land, it offers security and the right to not be evicted for these households. It allows them to use, lease, mortgage the land and classifies it for inheritance. In case of de jure possession, ownership is established through a sale deed. A sale deed is a legal record of a transaction made between one party and the other. This transferring can be through sale, gift, inheritance, mortgage, or tenancy. Along with the sale deed, reflection in the record of right and property tax receipts are also indicators of land ownership. In addition to this, the rightful ownership of a land must also reflect in the survey that determines land boundaries in a given state. All three of these fall under three different departments of the government at the district level, and often this data across the departments are not synced or requires updating. These gaps in the data can really affect the new buyer of the property, as the onus of ensuring that the land is free of any encumbrances lies with the buyer and not with the registrar. This can become very difficult due to the significant gaps and mismatch in the data. The registrar only verifies the identity of the two parties. The physical location and attributes of the land are not always checked. This has resulted in many property frauds. One piece of property may be sold to more than one person if the original owner is currently not in possession of the land. The popular Bollywood film Khosla Ka Ghosla talks about one such property fraud. Moreover, the titling of such lands is presumptive, meaning that the title and thereby the formal rights are based only on the aforementioned documents. These documents are proof of transfer of property from one party to the other. The Registration Act 1908 provides for the registration of deeds and documents but not for the titles. To alleviate this problem, we need to move to conclusive titling, where the titles are state guaranteed, and in case of any disputes, the state can compensate. This record of the title is a true depiction of the ownership, instead of just a proof of transfer. In 2019, Niti Aayog prepared a draft Land Title Act for this purpose. But to eventually have conclusive titling, all land records have to be digitized. The central government implemented the Digital India Land Records Modernization Program, but it's yet to be completed. The land records are also important to have an understanding of the people who own lands in our country. While we understand what land ownership is in India, we must also try to understand who owns it. The government is by far the largest owner. Among the ownership of private land, 7% of Indians control more than 47% of the country's land. The remaining 93% have about 53% of land amongst them. This concentration of land in India is reflective of the socio-economic disparities in our country. Ownership of land in a nation as vast and full of diverse social groups comes with its own share of social complexity. The zamindari system was an Indian form of feudalism where large sections of land were consolidated among the hands of fewer zamindars. The caste system in India also played its part in further aggravating the problems of landlessness among the peasant classes. Historically, caste has played a crucial role in determining the social status of individuals, and access to land is an indicator of it. The land redistribution and reform policies undertaken by the government have played a part in reducing the landlessness among socially deprived groups in the agricultural and forest areas. The Forest Rights Act was enacted in 2006 in an attempt to safeguard the right to land to the forest-dwelling scheduled tribes of our country. However, many of them are facing eviction today, even though they have been living in those lands for generations. The relationship between land and social background extends beyond caste. Gender also plays a significant role in land ownership rights. According to Centre for Land Governance, in India, only 12.9% of all privately held land is owned by women. Women comprise over 42% of the agricultural labour force, and yet they own less than 2% of the farmland. They face many barriers to land ownership, including lack of legal awareness about their inheritance rights, their reluctance to claim property from hostile family members, and the skewed implementation of laws fueling gendered social discrimination. There are many legislative reforms taken by governments at central and state levels to give better access to land to women. In 2005, the Hindu Succession Act was amended to give equal inheritance of land and property rights to women. In newly regularized urban lands, the pattas are often issued in the name of women. Such legislative measures help provide land rights to socially deprived groups across the country. We saw examples from rural and forest areas. But it is difficult to come by accurate data about the backgrounds of landowners in urban areas because our cities are rapidly growing. Peri-urban areas are forming in the intersection of rural and urban areas. Many lands that were once earmarked for agriculture are now being used for residential purposes. Moreover, there are many illegal squatter settlements in the cities where both possession and ownership is not legally validated. The NSSO survey estimates that half of all urban households are landless, but their social demographic is unclear. This also reminds us why we need more urgent reforms with respect to ownership and titling of land in our country that we learned about earlier in the video. How can we better understand and ensure equitable distribution of land if we are unclear about who owns it? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below.